Welcome to the program of Maronite Faith. As you know, in our program, sometimes we deal with topics that have to do with the Maronite heritage and directly with the Maronite faith. And some other times we just treat a certain character from the Bible or a certain event, a biblical event. Today it's going to be about a character from the Bible, very well known. His name is Abraham. And we read about him from Genesis chapter 12 to about Genesis chapter 25, where we read about his death. So it's these chapters from the Bible that tell us about Abraham. Because Abraham is such an important character of the Bible, it's going to be many episodes that will deal with him. I will start by saying that Abraham is called the father of the faith because he is the first one who believed in the one God. And he is the father of many nations, especially here in the Middle East. God called him from his city of Ur. He was living in Nathan at that time, and he called him from his city, and he promised him two things. He promised him land and descendants. He said to him, "Look, Abraham, go outside, look at the stars. Can you count them? Look at the sand of the beaches. Can you count them? That's how your descendant is going to be." So basically, the promise of God to Abraham was two things: land, a promised land, and descendants. But it happened that Abraham's wife, Sarah, did not have any children. And God had promised him that no, it is from Sarah that you will have a child. And so, as God has promised, Sarah bore a son, and his name was Ishaq, which is Isaac in English. So, meaning the one who smiles, the one who laughs, basically. And today's episode is going to treat the part where God asks Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac. And we would wonder, why would God ask this? Although it does say in chapter 13 of Genesis, it says, "Now Abraham was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold." It literally says that Abraham was very rich, and God did not ask him about his money, did not ask him to give up his livestock, his gold, or his silver. On the contrary, it was a sign that God has blessed him, that he made him this rich. So why did God look upon asking for his son, not for the gold and silver that Abraham had? It was really because God asked for the most important thing for Abraham basically. He asked him where his heart is. Abraham's heart, although he was very rich, was not with the money. His heart was with the Lord, and his love was for his son. And that's why God, when he came to test his faith, he asked for the most important thing for him, which is his son. And so Abraham took his son, went up the mountain, got the wood, prepared everything for the sacrifice. As he was going up this mountain, Isaac asked him, he said to him, "We're going up to give a sacrifice. Where is it? Where is the sacrifice that we're going to give?" He didn't know that he was going to be basically the sacrifice. And Abraham said to him, "The Lord will provide." And so he went up. And as he went up through that journey, some theologians tell us that it's the journey of every Christian, because the thoughts that Abraham must have had on that journey are the thoughts that almost every single Christian during our lifetime, we are ought to think of them at a certain stage in our life. What are the thoughts? One particular theologian says that Abraham must have thought, why did I have to go through all that trouble? Why did I have to go through the faith in God in the first place? Why did I have to commit to this one God? If I hadn't committed to him, I would not have had to basically sacrifice, to go through this journey and sacrifice my son right now. This thought of saying, why do I have to be a Christian? Why do I have to believe in Christ? It must have hit you at a certain stage. But the key in Abraham is he continued his journey. He trusted that God knows better. God knows what's good for you and what's good for your descendants and what's good for the whole world. He had this faith unshaken faith. And so he continued his journey. Although those thoughts must have hit his head, he continued his journey to the top of the mountain to sacrifice his son Isaac. And surely enough, God intervened and he said to him, no, do not touch your son. Because now you believe, you prove to me your faith, I will make you your descendants again like the stars in heaven and like the sands of the beaches. And so Abraham looks around and he sees a lamb stuck in a thicket, and he basically sacrifices that lamb. So that journey of faith on that mountain is the journey of every Christian. Sometimes during our life we might go through a certain difficulty and we say, why? Why do I have to go through that much persecution? That much? Why do I have to pay for my faith that much? But if we persevere, the Lord will show us His face at the end. And also another thing about this this sacrifice of Isaac on the mountain, it's kind of similar to another famous sacrifice in the Bible, which is the sacrifice of Christ Himself. We see that when Abraham was giving his son on the mountain, God intervened and saved Isaac. But when his own son was on the cross, God did not intervene. He actually watched his son suffer for the salvation of the world. Basically, the sacrifice of Isaac was to project the real sacrifice that's going to come in the future, and the real lamb, the lamb of the Lord that was sacrificed on the cross. So this sacrifice projects the real sacrifice of Christ on the mountain, that He gave Himself up freely on the cross for our salvation. I remind you, our dear viewers, that if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me on askamaronite@hotmail.com. I wish you all a beautiful day, and may God bless you always.